Excuse me. Hey guys, happy Friday. We are still in our measurement unit. Today we are going to start picture graphs. You guys did really well with the word problems in both mass and in liquid volume. I was pleasantly surprised. I thought there were going to be some bumps because I didn't personally go over word problems, but you guys did really well doing the questions, so give yourselves a pat on the back. We're going to move on to picture graphs. So I'm going to do a quick lesson, and then you have a practice 10 questions, keeping it nice and short for Friday. No exit slip today because we will be doing picture graphs Monday and Tuesday as well. So I'm going to hold off on an exit slip, but you do need to complete the independent practice and make sure you are submitting the answers. I'm still getting blank submissions from some of you, or just putting one letter. I cannot give participation credit for those, so that's just a friendly reminder. All right, let's get started with today's lesson. First, here's an example of a picture graph. You guys have seen this going through elementary, first, second grade. This is not new. The questions will change, and right now we're just going to do the introduction. We'll have more longer word problems and sometimes two-step word problems while looking at a picture graph. But for now, let's just get a refresher course. What do you notice about this picture graph? Well, if you said it is about candy, you are correct. When we want to look at a picture graph, you want to pay attention to the details. When I say details, I mean the title, okay? The title is favorite types of candy, and then these are the different candies, okay? And obviously they're row by row. That's how we're going to distinguish the different candies. Now, what you may have been used to in first and second is that you would just count, oh, the vote for chocolate was 4 because there were four lollipops there. The vote for gum was 1, the vote for mints were 3. This is where you need to pay attention to the key, and this is where it's going to go. Level of difficulty is going to increase a little bit, because how strong your multiplication is will be how efficient you will be when answering these questions, because each lollipop actually here counts as 5. So one lollipop counts as 5 votes. So chocolate is not 4 votes, guys. Every lollipop is like skip counting by 5s. Most of you, almost all of you, should know your multiples of 5. So for this practice, you would be skip counting by 5s to get your total. So chocolate is 5, 10, 15, 20. So our total for chocolate would be 20 votes. For gum, it would just be 5 votes. And for mints, we go 5, 10, 15 votes. This is going to be very important, is the key, because a lot of you who like to rush through questions might just count it as ones, and that's where we're going to lead into some errors. Now, reading the picture graphs are only one part of it. Understanding it to be able to answer the questions are the next part. So when questions come up like how many more people like chocolate over gum, that's when you have to start doing some mathematics. That's why when we see these picture graphs, the first thing I always want you guys to do is get your totals first. Before you get to the questions and rush through the questions, let's get all our totals. So we know that there's 20. I would write 20 right here. Oops. Here, gum, I would put 5 right next to it, and mints, I would put 15. Another total that is also very important is the complete total, or how many people voted. So 20 plus 5, which would be 25, 30, 40 people voted for this survey of what is their favorite candy. That's also an important number to keep track of, and I usually like to put it here to the side. Why do you do this? Well, these 30 seconds to 1 minute of you just stopping and getting all your numbers will help you when you get to the questions, and you don't have to keep doing recounts. You have all your numbers laid out, organized right here next to the chart. All right, so let's do this one together because this is very similar to what you will be doing in your practice. It says 4 Girl Scouts sold cookies for 1 month. The list below shows how many boxes were sold by each Girl Scout. And I'm just reading the names, and that is pretty funny that 3 of these names are 3 of my girls in my class. So Isabella, Emma, Grace, and then Sam. So those are the amount of boxes they sold. Now the important part about having a key, and that bar will go away soon, is you don't want to have to draw 40 boxes when you're making a chart. That'll take too long, you'll get frustrated, and your patience will run low. So the good thing about a key is you can say, well, instead of having to draw each box, I'm going to draw an object and it'll equal, let's say 5 or 2 or 10. Because you can see that their totals are multiples of 5, the person who wanted to make this chart decided to make their key, each cookie that they draw would equal 5 boxes, okay? So we will definitely not be seeing 40 boxes under Isabella. What we will be seeing is a number of cookies that will equal to 40, counting by our 5s. Now, another important thing here is when you are making charts is you have to make sure you have them. Here's the names on one side, and then the other part of the table is the amount of boxes or cookie sales. One has one part of information, the columns, and then the rows have a different part of information. You won't be having to draw very many like on testing days. It's more about understanding and being able to read it, but that's why you'll be able to read the names or the titles or the headings, because where's Isabella? Isabella's right here. And then you'll be able to make the count. So once we draw out the boxes using cookies, it will look like this. So every cookie would equal 5. And just to verify, this would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So Isabella had 40, Emma had 15, Sam had 35, and Grace had 50. And you can tell here, looking at this picture graph, that Grace did sell more cookies and Isabella came in a close second. Okay, so now that we have the information there, and like I said, if I had the pen option, I would write it. Let me see if I can do that here. Now that I shrunk the thing, here we go. I'm going to type in so that you guys can see what I'm talking about, so that you have the numbers next to it. So Isabella's was 40. Emma's was 15. This is what I want to do before I start answering questions. So I know all my numbers are organized, and it'll help me when I'm answering questions. Sam had 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. And Gracie had 50. I'm sure she's so excited right now that she sold the most cookies. All right, so those are numbers for each individual Girl Scout. And I also want to add how many in all. Well, we know 50 and 40 are almost 100, so that's 90. Plus the 15 will get us 105. Plus this 5 here will get us 110. Plus 30, so it was a total of 140 boxes between all 4 girls. I'm going to write that here, 140 boxes total. I like my information ready for me to use. All right, now let's go back to full screen and we can go over these questions. These are very similar to the questions that you guys are going to do on your own, so pay close attention. Question number 1, how many boxes of cookies did the girls sell in all? Oh, look at that. When we come prepared, it's much easier to answer the question. Keyword in this question is in all. Most of you know when it's in all, what are they asking for? They are asking for the total. The total of what? The total of all the girls, how much they sold. And look at that. We already found that here. So we can put our answer as 140. And I'll put that right there. 140. How many more boxes of cookies did Isabella sell than Emma? Okay, the key word in that is many more. You guys have been doing word problems all year. Many more is a key word for subtraction. We're comparing Isabella to Emma, so we're comparing 40 to 15. Knowing your subtraction strategies, the larger number comes first. 40 minus 15 will get you 25. So we're going to go ahead and put 25 here, right in the box. Bam, bam. Okay, going on to question 3. Which two girls sold a total of 75 boxes of cookies? All right, so now you have to find two girls that when we combine their numbers equal exactly 75. So you might have to do some mixing around and adding two different numbers so you get it. The more comfortable you are with numbers, you can quickly see, okay, which one would get me to 70 or 75. 70 would be my first guess to say, okay, which one would get me closest to 75. And then once you do the actual calculations, you'll realize that it is exact 75. First two that point out to me are 40 and 35, because 40 and 30 equals 70. Add the 5 and you would get 75. So the two girls, the answer for this one would actually be Isabella and Sam. Right, so let me put that here. Oh boy. Okay. I thought it was going to kick me out. Isabella and Sam. All right, perfect. And the last one, half of the cookies sold by Grace were Thin Mints. She probably sold it all to me because I love me some Thin Mints, Grace. If the cookies sold by half the cookies sold by Grace were Thin Mints, how many boxes of Thin Mints did Grace sell? Well, half of these cookies that we drew right here were Thin Mints. Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cookies. So half of 10 would be 5. But here's where we go into do not rush. Because if you were to put 5 there, that would be incorrect. 5 of the cookies in this key. But if we look back in the key, 1 cookie equals 5 boxes. So it's actually 5 times 5, which would get us 25. 25 of those boxes were Thin Mints. Okay, so that's pretty much what we're doing today. It's nothing too hard if you follow and read, and especially do count each individual item and get the total already, so then it's much easier to go through the questions. It is Friday. I hope you guys have a good weekend. Enjoy yourselves, and I will, if you are doing this before our Big Blue Button meeting, I will see you guys at 11 o'clock. If you are watching this after, I'm sorry I missed you. Today in our meeting, we will be having a scavenger hunt. So my early workers, I will see you at 11 if you can make it. Bye.